Hey folks, Leave here once again. Welcome back to another review. Hope you enjoyed my review of Underdog Recess Round on Underdog, which I thought, again, still a lame movie. Very forgettable in my opinion, but I didn't hate the film completely. I just didn't care for it. But anyway, it's on my new channel. Yeah. Again, the subscriber too, so guys, thank you for the 90 subs. Appreciate it. And guys, remember, just keep on subscribing to this channel. Definitely share my channel with your family and friends, co-workers, people you know. I appreciate it a lot. Uh, After this review, I will be adding Superman Doomsday to my superhero reviews marathon videos. Superman Doomsday. But yeah, before I do that, this is my next review. This movie's part of the as my new 2000s era reviews for superhero movies. The 2000s era of superhero reviews. That's what I call it for my superhero marathon here. Um, Sorry, again wearing my YouTube shirt. But anyway, this is part of the Marvel Animated Feature Films, or MFA, if you will. That includes 8 Marvel movies, animated films. Yeah, and this is also, I've been on the year 2007, and this movie is the last year, 2007. That is, I'm reviewing Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, right here. And better yet, if you want to take a look at it, got an IMDb picture of it. Yeah, this is my next review right here, which is really good. I really enjoyed this film. This was great. I loved it. I thought it was good. Now, I mean, I'm not a big Doctor Strange fan, as I'm more of a big Iron Man fan or a Spider Man fan. To be honest, sorry, but the quality going bad here. It just does that. Okay, now we're back to normal here. Yeah, but this was really good. This surprised me watching it again. I really enjoyed it. I really thought it was a good movie. It's a short movie. It's only 1 hour and 35 minutes. Uh, leave here, so it's only it's 95 minutes long, but it doesn't feel like it goes by at a really good pace. I would still say I like the live action one better. I'm talking about 2016, but I do think it's better than Doctor Strange Multi. That's a good one too, Multiverse of Madness. But this film was more shorter. That film had problems. I do like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I just like this a bit more because this also feels like a horror movie as well in bits and places. It is a bit dark. People say Marvel's for kids. I'm like, no, not this movie. This movie's pretty dark. Characters and people actually die in this movie, so it does get pretty dark. You know, it's not. I didn't see this as a kids movie. It is a dark film. So if you think your kids love Marvel, you want to watch these more anime movies, watch this movie with them because it's Doctor Strange. He faces monsters and mystical creatures. He's the Doctor Strange, the character. He's the magic, the mystical arts, sorcerer of mystical arts, if you will. He's a fictional character appearing in comics created by Steve Ditko. The character first appeared in Strange Tales in July 1963. Doctor Strange serves as the Sorcerer Supreme. He is the primary protector of Earth against magical and mystical threats. Strange was introduced during the Silver Age of comic books, and to being a different kind of character in themes of Matism and Torah comics. The late Stan Lee, who I think was an executive producer on this movie, animated film, said that they wanted to make like a magician kind of superhero at the time, and they came up with Doctor Strange. The only thing he doesn't do like abracadabra or anything like that. No, but the character starts off as a jerk. Yes, and even in this movie, Doctor Strange, he's an asshole. When he first starts, he's very unlikable, very selfish, prick. But he starts as an intelligent and arrogant neurosurgeon who is injured in a car accident. His hands get injured. His hands have suffered nerve damage from the accident. He was told that current medical therapy and rehabilitation would not be enough to enable him to protect again as a surgeon. Unable to accept this prognosis, he travels the world searching for alternative ways of healing, which leads him to the Ancient One, the Sorcerer Supreme. Strange becomes his student and learns to be a master of both the mystical and the martial arts. He requires an assortment of mystical objects, including the power eye of Abnett, cloak of Leviton, and takes up residence in a mansion at the Sanctum Sanctum, located in Boulder City, Greenwich Village, Manhattan, New York City. Strange assumes the title of Sorcerer Supreme, and with his friend Valet Wong, defends the world from mystical threats. Uh, we do have Dormammu in this movie. We also have, as the villain, he's got other enemies. I believe Mordo is one of his villains as well. Mordo is a villain in here as well. And there will be spoilers in this review, so if you haven't seen this anime film, Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme, do not watch it. He draws his powers from mystical entities such as I can't say all these spells. Strange also wields mystical artifacts, including the cloak of levitation, which enables him to fly. The Amato, an amulet which I think he wears around his neck, uses negative evil magic. The Book of the Vacation. In addition to his magical abilities, Strange is trained in several martial arts disciplines, including judo. Yeah, it's interesting to read. Just wanted to read about the character of Doctor Strange. Oh, I do want to tell you guys, on my other channel, good few years back, not too long ago, the I did review the 2016 film. Yeah, this is before I did my superhero marathon. Way before it was when I was in another set of reviews on the channel. But I will share, just if you look up, put my name in on YouTube and just say, Doctor Strange 2016, you'll see my review of that on there. And there will be a revisit review, but when we get to the 2010s era, because that movie came out in 20. Actually, I believe it turned. The movie's it's like 8 years old now. It was 8 years ago when that movie came out. I think. Yeah, 8 years ago. About 8 years now. Yeah, but I'll be doing a revisit review, and I will be reviewing Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness someday. You know what? I just noticed something. I had a Doctor Strange. I'll just wear my YouTube shirt. It's not an animated shirt anyway, but oh well. Maybe next time. Yeah. And this movie is the fourth film in the Marvel animated feature films. This film was released on August 14th, 2007. It was nominated for Best Home Entertainment Production of 2007 at the 35th Annual Annie Awards. And like I said, the film was 1 hour 35 minutes long. Bryce Johnson voices Doctor Strange. Kevin Michael Richardson, who voices Baron, voices Mordoom. Y'all should probably know him as the voice of the Joker if you've seen the Batman. I'm not talking about the Batman animation. I'm talking about the Batman from 2004, that TV show. Michael Yama voices the ancient one. Oh, he was in Lois and Clark. I think he was. Let's see. Sorry, I just kind of recognize him. Okay, yeah, he was in Click with Adam Sandler. He was in Gilbert Taylor. Jonathan Amnes as Dormammu. Kevin Strong as April Strange, Stephen Strange's sister. She's done many voice parts, but I think y'all should probably know her. I think she voiced Batgirl in Batman the Animated Series. Barbara Gordon, and she voiced Raven as well. She voiced Timmy Turner in a Pro Wrestling Program, so she's a really great voice actress as well. And Paul Nuka as Wong. I can't say his name right. Sorry. He did some additional voices for Hellboy: Sword of Stones and the Invincible Iron Man. Yeah. But that came out in January. This one came out on August 14th, 2007. But voice cast was really good. But the story of this movie, what the story is about is that for Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme, ah, sorry, just trying to point to it. Oh my god. Anyway, the story of this movie is that talented, talented young, arrogant surgeon Dr. Stephen Strange suffers a crippling injury to his hands and he in a car accident. On a recommendation from a colleague named Wong, who is a sorcerer of the mystical arts, invites the doctor to travel to far-off Tibet to receive physical and spiritual healing from the renewed Ancient One. During this process, though, Strange unwittingly acquires immense power, turning him into a sorcerer. He then uses his new ability to fight a villain known as Dormammu, who's trying to take over the world alone. with the help with an ally, Mordo, who's trying to help him as well. Like there'll be spoilers here. So Doctor Strange has Dormammu is a very big threat that's coming to Earth, and he's trying to take over the world. So Stephen Strange, must change the person he is. He must become the sorcerer of mystical arts and become who he is, and he has to defeat Dormammu and stop him from taking over the world. And he has to save the world, basically. You know, and that's the plot in a nutshell for you. It's a really good movie. Like I said, it's a short film, 1 hour 35 minutes. It goes by at a good pace. Yeah, even though I like the 2016 film a lot more, mainly because of Benedict Cumberbatch. That movie, the villains weren't as strong enough as they are in this movie. I think the villains are good in this film, but in the 2016 film, the villains weren't very good. It should have just been more to normal, you know. Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the movie itself. Now, I get my final opinion on it, like I always do in my reviews. The movie opens up in New York City. These workers who work in the sewers, in the tunnels of the sewers, are running from this monster, but they get grabbed, and the sorcerers come. That includes Wong and Mordu. They defeat the monsters. Mordu does come up as a badass. He's a really good warrior. He just has a bit of a real bad attitude problem. You know, he can be selfish sometimes and doesn't really care who he hurts in the process. Sometimes is more focused on finishing the fight, you know, than protecting. He cuts off the tail of one of the creatures. The creature tries to get away. One of them uses like a line. But again, it's my second time seeing this movie, so sorry, don't get you mad at me. Like a rope to tear the legs off and they crush it. And one was like, Mortar, we can't let that creature get attacked. And I agree. They defeat the monster eventually. It's like, Mortar, you could have got somebody hurt, you know. And meanwhile, you have Stephen Strange, who's driving his car. He's a neurosurgeon. He's really good at it. But like I said, he's a jerk. He's really just an asshole. Like I said, he's just, Strange. Steven's just driving through. He sees them, and like that guy, he just saw us, and they disappear. He's like, whoa. And Steven goes to the office, and he tortures this kid. Well, not tortures the kid, but make him, read the files. Basically, kind of picks on him. Yeah. He's like, just answer my calls. He goes to his office, just sit down. He's sees a picture of him and his sister. He gets a visit from the hospital's administrator, Oliver, who runs it. He tells him that this doctor named Gina, who he has problems with him, and they have a lot of issues, mainly because of his ego. And he's like, we all need to, work together. I'm tired of hearing complaints back and forth from you two. Her problem is you. So Steven, just you know, stop acting the way you're acting. And he goes to her, and she's like, well, this has nothing to do with your ego. He's like, well, I don't work on children. One of many suffering from dangerous nightmares. You also find out that him and Gina had a romantic relationship in the past, but it didn't work out, ended badly, and they have to work together sometimes, but they don't get along very well. She has Steven check on her child, even though he says he won't do it, and he tries to help out. She like touches him, and he sees like um an hallucination that is of Dormammu. Well, we find out later, and he's like, I can't help you. He's like, no, I won't help you. And the woman begs him, like, I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't help you. Just get off me, leave me alone. You know, just shrugs it off like he doesn't. Because again, like I said, the character's a jerk. Doesn't care, makes the poor lady cry. But again, I think the reason he won't work on children, you find out that Strange's sister, I'll go ahead and just say it anyway, that his sister April, you do have flashbacks of him hanging out with his sister, and they had a really good bonding relationship. Stephen was not a jerk then, but he tried, when he was on his way to becoming a doctor, a neurosurgeon, he tried to save his sister. He wouldn't listen to the doctors, and he tried to save her, and it couldn't happen, so maybe that was someone made him angry and bitter, but there is a reason for why he's being a jerk. You know, maybe just because of caring, and he cared, and he felt like he made a mistake, and he killed his sister by making a mistake he couldn't save her. I think that really, you know, really tore him up real bad inside, and that's kind of maybe what brought on him being angry and bitter and the selfish guy. You know, that's just my theory on him. You know, because his sister was almost like a child, so that's probably why he won't work on a child because he doesn't want to care, doesn't want to get involved in that. But he tells Gina he can't do nothing for the children. Sorry. Steve drives home. Steven drives home. He has a vision of flames with a burning face that is Dormammu. He sees these kids in this image, you know, because he's driving in a tunnel, and he sees the hallucination again of Marmu, and his car breaks off the road into a cliff. He doesn't die, but the brick badly injures him though. His hands are left shattered and useless. He's like, let me see my chart. And he sees, like, no, there's no hope for me. He's like, I can't even be a doctor again. I can't even, you know, do anything again. He's like, well, Steven, don't give up. He's like, well, you should be happy to see me like this. Shit needs Xena. And the thing is, though, he can't even barely use his hands. He goes home. The bell at, our the doorman. He has asked the doorman to help put it because he can't even use his home his apartment key to get into his apartment. So he has asked the guy to do it, and he tries to shave, you know, with a blade, and it just it's like, oh, and it gets mad, and it doesn't work. And it'll take a while for Oliver and some of the doctors to help him out. So Steven doesn't want to listen. He's tired of listening. So he spends all his fortune on trying to do everything he can to get his hands better, but it's not working. And all his fortune goes in here, and they say, "Sorry, Strange, Doctor Stephen Strange, we can't help you." They tell him they can't. They tell Stephen they can't help him at all. That he's losing money, he's losing credit or insurance and all that. And basically, because of that, he believes all his loss. He's got beard, he's got growing a beard and all that stuff. And he attempts to commit suicide. Almost succeeds until Wong saves him. He recommends to him that he goes to Asia to offer him hope and healing in Tibet. And he gives him a map to get him there. And Stephen says, "Okay, he'll give it a chance." He begs Gina to help him. Goes to her, and she does. She gets him there. He hikes up to the Himalayas. He loses the map, but then he sees the monastery that he's at there in the Himalayas. Oh, sorry. He's at the monastery, and he gets there. And Strange tries to ask that he goes to the Asian one. He can't really confront him. He just has to bow down to respect. And Mordu, someone doesn't like him right away. You know, he tries to start the Asian one, and Mordu pushes him, get away from him. He's like, just please help me fix my hands. And he's like, okay, we'll help you. You know, and the Asian one allows him to stay. And they said, you get a bed. Well, he doesn't. He's he's sleeping. He's like, this is a bed, really? You have to work hard. And when he first encounters the Asian one again, he's like, well, so work. Well, you just gotta. That's between you and the scrub to figure out how to screw the floor. And he does. But the other students, the other sorcerers, they combat a pack of wolf-like creatures in Central Park, which is a cool moment. And like I said, almost frightening because again, this is monsters in this movie. It can be a bit dark too. Some of the sorcerers in the battles get killed, and it's a pretty good action scene of them just every time they destroy them, they evaporate. And some of them have been dying. Go to the ancient one about it. Tell him about it. Stephen nearly gets rid of. They make him pick up rocks. You know, but he's like I can't do it. He's about ready to give up. And through these days, though, as he's working and stuff, they give him a bed by each day and day. And he has a flashback, like I said, his sister that he attempted to save it, April, she died of a brain tumor. Strange blames himself for it. But the ancient one appears in Stephen's mind and convinces him to let it go of his past and guilt. Returning to like, let it go, Stephen. Because sometimes you can't save everybody, or sometimes they're just not meant to be saved. Sometimes this maybe it was just her time. You know, you can't save everybody from death. Not even doctors can. Because reality, even with the sorcerer powers, they can't even save somebody from dying. And so Stephen has learned that. Yeah. And all of a sudden, Agent One realizes that these monsters are coming. These two Chinese reptilian monsters are coming. They approach the sanctuary. He tells Mortal's like, "We'll just kill them all one by one." He's like, listen to him, but he disobeys them though. He separates them. He tries to get them to create like a barrier, but he gets them killed. And even Wong said, "Why'd you do that? You almost got us killed." He's like, "Well, at least we killed it, didn't we?" Several of the students are killed. Mortal does defeat the beast. You know, Mortal was tired of it. Mortal was monsters. He's like, "You are." It tells this like, "You are no man. I should be the sorcerer supreme. I deserve it. I've worked the hardest for it." And he's like, "We are not warriors. We are protectors." You know, and you know, they're sorcerers that protect the earth from mystical threats. That's what they do. But Mordu's just taking it too far, and some of his decisions are getting some of the students killed. You know, and he says, "I'll be taking over soon." But more, he took Mordu tells him, "Well, one is will be taking my place," but he just doesn't know yet. And of course Mordu knows he's talking about Strange. I was like, "Fine, I better go train him then." And Stephen and Mordu fight. He's attacking him with a sword because early on though he learned how to move a rock, a square like rock, and straight. He's able to train how to use his abilities, sorcerer's abilities, by imagining it's there, having to be peace at one with your mind. I guess I don't know all this monastery stuff, but he does. I liked it when they showed him that cut. He's like, "See, it's not heavy when you think it is." You know, I know that's a bit confusing, but again, it's cool though. And then when him and Mortal have the sword fight, when he's teaching him, Mortal nearly gets ready to kill him. Stephen deflects, Mortal absorbs his spell and deflects energy back towards him, knocking him down. And then Mortar who's enraged, well, just to kill him, but one intervenes, tells stops him. He's like, "You were supposed to train him, not kill him." And he tells Mortar walks away in anger, and all he has is hatred for Strange. Or you say he's jealous of him as well. But Wong helps him. He teaches him karate. He teaches him martial arts. Later on, Stephen, he becomes better at it, and this is when he gets to be, as like in the movie, he uses excuse me, his mystical magic, and is able to shave his face. And then that's when he gets that look of Doctor Strange. And then he follows Ace Wong and the Mordo to the students to the Sanctuary Sanctum. And he's like, "Wait, how did we get here?" It's like, "Well, we've been there a time." And they go to this place called the Nexus. It's between realities and dimensions that appear from the outside in towns down in New York City. The Asian one tells them that about tells them about Demoro, an ancient being that wishes to rule all worlds, all worlds, especially Earth. Thousands of years ago, after his previous bid at a conquest, the Asian one trapped him in dimension in limbo. Upon seeing the Demoro, Stephen recognizes the burning face that he saw when he saw, early in the movie, before his accident, all that stuff, when he touched the child, and when he was in his car before his, car crash. Those hallucinations were real, and they were the Mormon. And Strange figures, well, you know what? No, stop him when he touches it. Momo was about to come through, but thanks to the One Nation one who put him there years ago, he can't get out. And they figure that he's using the mind of children to escape out of this reality, to escape from his prison. And Strange says, "Well, if I can get the children out of there, maybe he can't get out." Moto suggests just murdering them up and killing children. I mean, I'm serious. He says that, and they're like, "No." And but Moto and Strange go. Strange passes out Gina using his mystical arts, and he goes to the children, saves them. Moto grabs one of the kids, though. He attempts to wake them up. He awakens them, stop Moto from entering Earth, trying to take it over. But Mordo also enters a child's dream, and he makes a deal with Dormo. He's like, he pledges to serve him in exchange for the Sorcerer Supreme. So he's like, my Sorcerer Supreme has betrayed me, so I'm going to betray him now. And I'm going, he tells Dormo, I'm going to help you get out of here and take over the world. And he's like, okay, deal. The moment takes over the minds of the children. He attacks Strange in the physical realm, almost kills him, but eventually Wong appears. Then you have these wing marks, these vicious flying bats that they come down and they when they fly, they attack this guy in a taxi, and literally I'm not kidding you, they turn to a skeleton right away, so they're like, you know, bat piranhas almost, but that devour you. One of them try to use as a tree, to get the roots to attack these creatures, but the creatures eventually attack him and he becomes a skeleton, so they start killing people one by one. They get tornadoes in here and stuff going off. Mordo then arrives to kill the Asian one. He fights with the Asian one, but he eventually kills his former master, murders him in cold blood. One gives Strange the Eye of Umnut, which is around his neck. Probably can't see it on Strange, but usually it's around his neck. And he tells him after George Supreme's death, he's like, "You are the Sorcerer, Stephen. This is your destiny." He's like, "No, it's not." And then he's like, "It is." He's able to convince Stephen that he is. It is. And Strange goes to confront Wong Fortunato. Wong and Mortal fight. He gets to fight. You know, Mortal fights off. Nearly kills him too, but doesn't. He just gets injured. But he fights Strange ends up, having a sword fight again with him, and Strange defeats him, and he devours Mortal. Steals the eye of Amato, and he makes his way to the Sandstrom. Strange confronts Dormammu, and he's like, "Who are you?" Dormammu says, and he's like, "I am Doctor Strange." He uses his magic, and Wong tells him in a vision, that you can overpower him since he's made of pure magic. He didn't expect Stephen to absorb Dormammu, but he did. He uses his magic against him, and Stephen doing that defeats him. Yeah, and he actually defeats them. They defeat Mordu. I mean Mordu, and lastly, he defeats the Mormu. They return to the Sanctum. Wong tells Stephen's purpose as Sorcerer Supreme is to protect the realm from Earth from mystical attacks, such as the one they just experienced with the Mormu. Stephen appears in Gina's dream, surprising her with a humbling change in attitude. That he will be that they will be well with the children. The children live well. And she says Stephen is a changed man, is happy what he's been doing now. Strange visits his grave sister. I guess you can say says goodbye and comes to peace to terms that he just couldn't save her, and gives her a goodbye. That when we tells him about there's new students there for him to train. One of them, who's called a girl named Cleo, as they close the door, well, Strange just walks indoors, turns around, looks at the audience, argues with the viewer, and just closes the door, and then the movie ends there. So, so that was Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme. Let me give my final opinion on this movie. So, Doctor Strange, I'm not going to get the DVD here. Well, can you really see it right there? So, Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme, again, right here, right here. This was a really good movie. I really enjoyed this film. I do get it on DVD, of course, with all the 8 other movies. Yeah, this is a like it just has Mordu behind him, but that's the DVD. I'm not gonna pull it out or anything like that. But Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme. This was really a great movie. I loved it. I thought this was an excellent film. Definitely one of my favorite films. I definitely say it's one of my favorite Marvel movies. I would say it's one of the best Marvel movies. Live action and animated, it's still one of the best. I put it up there with the Ultimate Avengers 1 and 2, and Invincible Iron Man is great movies in my opinion. You know, I even think the 2016 film was great as well, in my opinion. Yeah, when the 2016 film came out, I didn't have no interest in seeing it, but I'm not a huge Doctor Strange fan, but I do like the character, especially because of Benedict Cumberbatch. But well, first of all, I like the story. The stories were good. That Stephen Strange starts off as a jerk, but he has his reasons because, like I said earlier in the video, I guess he feels that guilt of losing his sister and feeling guilty and just doesn't want to care. He even says in the movie at one point, caring is there is no caring in this business. He did something like that. And I guess because Strange cared enough to save his sister, that attachment, and when she died, that really broke his heart. And I think that really scarred him so much he became angry and bitter. And just kind of became a selfish doctor, just focused on making it about business all the time and money. And that really, I think, changed him a bit. But, with the car crash and hurting his hands and going to the H1, I think it made him a better person. He became Doctor Strange, uh, the sorcerer of mystical arts. You know, yeah, by using magic, but using it to fight threats and fight evil. You know, yeah. And Doctor Strange is, I think, is one of the best Marvel characters. Yeah, he first starts off as being unlikable, but when he becomes Doctor Strange, he becomes a better person. You know, and what he had to dispense his belief to for the mystical arts to work and all that stuff. But it's very interesting. This film has a really good story. The animation I thought was really good. And like I said, the film is only 1 hour and 35 minutes long, 95 minutes of running time, but it goes by at a really good pace. It didn't bore me one bit. It has a very interesting story, and I'm invested in the character of Stephen Strange. You're very invested. That's the thing. I forget to say that, but when it comes to superhero movies, you really want to be invested, especially in the main hero or the main character. If you're not invested, or don't care about them, or don't like them, then the movie's not going to work for you. It really, for a superhero film to work, you have to have a good story, and this film has it, and you have a good lead, a good hero, that, yeah. And when he becomes Doctor Strange, his powers are really cool, and it's awesome to see him fight. We got good action scenes in here too, really interesting. And I said the film feels like a bit of a horror movie too because of all the monsters and stuff. And like I said, people getting killed. The Ancient One gets killed by Mordu. Mordu was a good villain. Yeah, he was a good sorcerer, a good warrior, but he didn't want to really be a protector. He just wanted to fight and kill all the time, and even like other people killed, and it made him very arrogant and selfish, and eventually led him toward the path of so selfish and so full of hate for Doctor Strange that he turned to Dormammu, who's like almost like the devil himself, sell his soul to just get what he wanted. So yeah, he gets what he deserves at the end. The moment is destroyed too. You know, he basically claims that he's God, but he's not, and because Strange defeats him in a badass way. And yeah, good action scenes, a short movie, a really good story. You really sympathize with the character. You feel sorry for him when he loses his arms and he's trying everything. And but when he becomes Doctor Strange, special thing, you're like, this is who this guy is. This is who he's meant to be. And he just chooses his destiny. He goes with his destiny to be the Sorcerer Supreme. That is Doctor Strange, and that's why he's definitely one of the best Marvel characters in my opinion because he's very interesting. You know, and yeah, the special effects when CGI animation is there, it's really good. Especially when you're in the realms of other dimensions, the Nexus, that looks really amazing in my opinion. That's what I love about the live action movie too, the 2016 film. And Multiverse of Madness too, but they both films that have really good CGI and they're really good practical. I wouldn't say practical effects. It's really good. The visuals are beautifully shot, are very stunning in the 2016 film. They're stunning in here too in animation, but in live action when you see it, it can be amazing too. Yeah, but good movie, good story. It goes by a good pace. The voice cast I thought was great. In here, everyone did a good job in my opinion. The villains were good, very memorable. I like the Momo and Mortal. Good villains. I think they were also in an episode of Spider-Man the anime series, but that's when Spider-Man teams up with Iron Man to eventually not Doctor Strange. But Doctor Strange does everything appear in the Spider-Man the anime series. You know, one of the seasons, probably season 3, I guess, but I don't remember. But anyway, great movie. Great movie. Short film goes by at a really good pace. I loved it, so I can't know more to say about it. But my rating for Doctor Strange, I'm gonna give Doctor Strange the Sorcerer Supreme thumbs up. And my rating for this film, I'm gonna give this 5 out of 5 stars. Probably the best Doctor Strange movie in my opinion. Did I say I like 2016 film better idea? Well, I changed my mind. I like that movie. Don't get me wrong. It's a great movie. Awesome Marvel MCU movie. But the biggest problem with the movie is the villains weren't strong enough. You need strong villains. It did have a good story and all that. You have to have great villains in my opinion. Also, but what makes that movie great though is Benedict Cumberbatch as well. But Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme, really good, one of the best superhero movies, best Marvel movies I've ever seen. For great animated film in my opinion. It goes by at a good pace and it's got a good story. So I really enjoyed this film. Really awesome movie. So again, my rating for this film is 5 out of 5 stars and a thumbs up. So guys, tell me in the comments down below, what do you think of Doctor Strange: The Sorcerer Supreme? Uh, have you seen the two live action movies with Benedict Cumberbatch? Uh, the 2016 film and the sequel that came out a few years back. Well, I think almost a year ago or two. Doctor Strange: the Multiverse of Madness, which I do like both movies though. But I definitely say that this is probably the best Doctor Strange movie in my opinion. That's just my opinion though. Alright. Hey guys, that was the end of all my 2007 reviews. I will share my review of Superman Doomsday on my superhero reviews, marathon playlist, videos playlist on my channel. You will see it, I promise you. I'll be sharing TV show collection videos as well, and other collection videos I have done. Sorry. Alright. And next, I will be doing a TV show collection video. I do not have the first season. I do have this is season 1, that is Justice League. I don't have season 2, but this is one of the DC animated shows, you know, like with Superman animated series, Batman animated series, Superman animated series, Batman Beyond, and I've already talked about those shows on my other channel. But now I'm gonna be talking about Justice League. I gotta get season 2. I gotta buy that. I'm gonna buy it on Amazon. Actually, I gotta buy that season. You buy it on Prime Video, but I'd rather just buy it on DVD. Yeah, not trying to run out of room on my shelf. Yeah, but I might keep in every movie that I review. But for now, I'll be talking about the next TV. You'll see my TV show collection part 33, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but you know, I'll find out and I'll do of course, a community post. So guys, watch out for my community post. Stay tuned for those and watch out for those because I always say the next video or the next review I'm going to do, and the next TV show collection video will be Justice League. I'll also be giving my thoughts on season 1 and season 2. I gotta find my paper again. I had a paper of a list of shows I'll be watching, and oh, so last one was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was last year. That was a year ago, and yeah, that was probably actually last November. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it. That I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think it might have been. So yeah, now I'm on Justice League. Hmm. But of course, when it comes up to the holidays, I will not be doing videos on the holidays. I never do. But that's Justice League. We'll be talking about the show next and season two. I'll be having those and all. But that's all I'm saying right now. It's Justice League will be next, the TV show. And we'll be on the 2008. After that, we'll be on the 2008 era of superhero movies. It is 10 movies, but I figured we'd go ahead and talk about the show first because I'll be the first one. This came out in February. DC animated movies. That is not Batman or Superman, but Justice League animated movies, which this will be the first one to review, and that is Justice League: The New Frontier. So after I'm done with the TV show collection and my thoughts and favorite episodes of season one of Justice League and season two, of course. But I figured talk about the show before I talk about the animated movies and the live action movie as well, and the Zack Snyder cut. I figured just I should go. I thought it was best to go with the show first. Yeah. But then when we start with the year two, we are now on the 2008 year. You know, for 2000 era Super Marathon. We are in the year of 2008, and then to 2009, and that'll be it for the 2000s review of superhero movies, and it'll be in the 2010s by then. But we have 8 movies with 2008. I know y'all think that's a lot, but hey, it's not too bad. But Justice League: The Frontier, that'll be when I get back to review movies. This will be the next one. So, but Justice League will be next, and you'll be seeing 2 more revisit reviews as well. I'm not gonna get too ahead of my freaking self, but yeah. But Justice League is next, so I hope you look forward to me talking to the show. And I hope, let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think of Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme? Again, 5 out of 5 stars my rating for this film, animated film, and a thumbs up. Tell me what the comments down below. What do you think of this movie in your opinion? Thanks for watching. Bye bye.